Welcome back to another episode of Going In Deep, broadcast from Uranus, the official podcast for the Uranus Awards. My name is Mike, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Max, Joseph.
Okay.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves real quick.
Oh no, I made a bad error.
Welcome back, Xander. Just a quick thing. Due to personal reasons, Zakk will no longer be joining us on the podcast. We'll miss him, but hopefully he'll come back to us very soon. We love you. Anyway, we do have someone who you do recognize. He was our special guest last week on the Triple Threat episode, and he has now moved in permanently. Xander Kozak. Welcome back.
That was
Hello.
3 great pronunciations of my name that no one has ever said.
And welcome back.
It's good to have you.
Thank you, guys. My best wishes to Zakk. Really hope that he's doing well, and I'm happy to help out tonight.
Yeah, and forever.
Yes, I'm happy to watch movies and talk about them with you guys. So,
Yeah.
Are you wondering what the hell this is? Every week, Going In Deep, we'll be doing a podcast here at Mill Iron Studios in New York City, where we will be breaking down and discussing sci-fi, comic book, superhero, horror, fantasy, and any other movie that is eligible for the Uranus Awards. The awards will be live streamed right here at Mill Iron Studios in New York City on January 14th. 2018.
You guys both have such beautiful speaking voices, and I'm just like, hi! Anyway, we'd like to give our first official shout-out, which is very exciting, for our first sponsor, Mama J's Cookies, who has the most delicious and best decorative cookies in Cleveland, Ohio. You need to get a cookie for your party, graduation, bar, bat mitzvah, bridal shower, anything. Talk to Mama J. Her website is www.mamajscookies.com. A little bit of love in every bite. And take it from me and a bunch of the people who are here at Mill Iron Studios. These cookies are not to be messed with. They are delicious. Anyway, let's get to the episode. Mike.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Dark Tower.
Sorry. Is it okay if I do a shout out too?
Yeah, why not?
I'm so excited. For anybody in the New York City area, I mentioned last week I'm doing a musical. We just got the new dates for our new installment of it at the Dream Up Festival here in New York City, and you can see it in September on the 10th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 17th. I'll be putting a lot more info about that on my Twitter and Instagram, so keep an eye out for that. It's a great musical. It's a completely dialogue-free show with jazz music and classical music that tells the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Can I get tickets?
You can get tickets if you go onto the Facebook page for what it's worth, which I'll be putting in the descriptions. You can follow it on Instagram at FWIWNYC.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And now that I'm done, scratching my own back, we can get to the podcast.
Get to the Romeo and Juliet. Here we go. Mike, what are we reviewing today?
This movie, The Dark Tower, by Stephen King.
Yes. A very, very, very long-awaited Dark Tower that has gone through pre-production hell for something like 12 years, maybe. I don't know, maybe more.
Tell us a little bit about the movie, Mike, if you...
Well, let's not spoil anything, but
Right.
basically just tell all our viewers. All I can really say about this movie is it's about a kid. He tries to find a guy who shoots people. And this guy's got a dark background that we find out about. But, he shoots people throughout the movie, and then he's looking to just shoot one guy in particular.
And honestly, we could end the episode right there.
Yep,
Probably.
done.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
And that's Going In Deep, Going Dark. Have a good one.
If you want something a little more specific, there's this kid named Jake Chambers who is haunted by these dreams of another world, a man in black, a large structure that is keeping monsters from getting into the real world, and a man with 2 guns that is protecting it.
I have nightmares about Matthew McConaughey coming to me at night. So it's like I relate to this kid. I relate to this movie.
If you have bad dreams about McConaughey doing terrible things to you, please let us know on Twitter. Yeah. Oh my God, there was a part in the movie where
There was?
oh my God, there was a part in the movie.
I don't remember.
He talks to a small child and he says, "Well, you are the full package as advertised." Tell me you didn't think pedophile when he said that.
Not pedophile, but just so creepy.
Very creepy.
His character didn't justify that line. It was very much like just the wonderful movies 50 Shades of Grey. They had so many lines that were just like, oh God, stop! I'm uncomfortable. Stop! I'm gonna take you downtown. You can't say that. Stop it. That's not appropriate, McConaughey.
Disgusting.
Okay.
So obviously we loved it.
Yeah, I have seen it twice now. Not because I liked it. I saw it last week for free. And I saw it this morning with Max because I wanted to support him because I knew what he would be walking into, and I wanted to be there for him.
Appreciate it.
A little moral support.
A little support. He kept asking me for points that he could leave to go get candy. He's like, "Is now a good time? Is anything important gonna happen?"
I was falling asleep. I don't know why. I'm usually so good in a movie theater, but I was so bored.
Yeah.
Which is so upsetting because the movie looked awesome. I was like so pumped about this thing.
I think I was hyping up a little bit for you. I mean, I was like waiting like all year to see this. And I was like,
as soon as the first trailer came out with the when he put all the bullets in the gun, I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like nightmare of McConaughey.
So, having seen it twice, the thing that struck me the most was exactly how much I forgot from watching the first time. Because I saw the movie again today, and I'm like, I forgot Catherine Winnick was in it, the girl from Vikings, who's awesome in that. I forgot Jackie Earle Haley's in it. I forgot Abby Lee, and Fran Kranz was in it. I forgot about an hour of the movie had happened. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
I feel like they just gloss over a lot of things.
Kind of. Like, after the first time I watched it, I still had no knowledge of anything that happened in any of the 7 books. No. But I could tell this was the light mayonnaise version. This was the equivalent of middle schooler who needed to do a book report and watched the movie to avoid reading the book.
Which is how I got through literally all of my education. Into the Wild, great movie. Oh, man. No idea what that book is about.
I loved that book. It was actually pretty
No, I know, and there's so. But the sad thing is, and I think this is true with most movies, the books are always better.
The books are quite usually better, but with Into the Wild, the book and the movie were actually pretty damn close. Sean Penn did a great job.
No, totally. But regardless.
For the Dark Tower, though, like you're right.
Different book movie.
There's so much to work with, and they didn't use any of it.
Like, what specifically were you?
Are you a book fan? Did you read any of them?
Unfortunately, I did not, but I'm like just a little vaguely familiar. I know it's like 7 books long. It's Stephen King's magnum opus, and it goes on for like years and years and years. It's not like there's a shortage of material for them to use.
Yeah, 87 was the first book. 1987 was when his first book came out.
Our reviewer, the guy who does our written reviews, Drew Helton, if you ever want to look up his reviews, it's The Probe. It's on our website. He just started reading them, and he's flying through them.
Really?
He's like, these are the best series I've ever read. Yeah. And I was like, well, what about Harry Potter? And he's like, okay, well, besides that. But he is obsessed with this world. He loves this thing. And then I think he's sad to see it because he's heard so many terrible things.
Yeah. Stephen King himself actually put a quote out about the film. He liked it.
That's good. That's great.
Because he doesn't really care too much about how close they got to the book. He said purists will hate it, and it seems like they do, but he thought it was kind of fun.
So this is a way to reach the mainstream, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like they did a couple of cop-out moves to just, make a movie with the Dark Tower on it and a couple of characters from the film.
It's so short, like 90 minutes, 100 hour and a half, I mean.
Right, and for such a long series for the books, I was like, really? Why would you make it that short? I mean, I'm not mad because, but they could have done so much more. Especially with this cast, you had 2 top billing actors. You could have made this a bigger movie.
That was part of the whole feeling like it was the light version of the Dark Tower because it was so short. I expected at least a 2-hour, 2:15.
I was expecting a 2.5-hour movie after seeing how much the books were and all that.
based on the way the fans love the series. If it were done right, I would be in for a 2.5 hour.
Of course.
And that's one of the things I didn't like about the movie the most was the Dark Tower is barely in it at all. They're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
destroy the tower, but
I feel like the producers have a little too much faith in
the readers.
in the film, in that they will get the opportunity to tell more of these stories on the silver screen. You know, I feel like they're just, we can establish stuff. We don't need to explain too much. We'll just make more movies and explain it there. Like,
I mean, the budget for this movie was $66 million.
really,
And so far they've grossed close to 20.
okay.
And it's only been 4 days.
It came out on Thursday.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
came out on the 4th, so like,
Yeah.
you know.
Because I had some of the book stuff spoiled for me, and I can talk about that more in the spoiler section. But
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff established, especially like with the tower itself and the Man in Black, that really could be done in one movie
Yeah.
easily.
So what were some of the parts that we did enjoy about this movie? Some non-spoiler, like, oh, this was good.
Idris
Agreed.
freaking Elba.
That was the only note I have.
Yeah, I'm going to talk more about this in the spoiler section, but I am so sick of people being upset at him getting work, because there have been several
Yeah,
films
it's nonsense.
that he's been cast in, most notably Thor, where
Mm-hmm.
where people are upset just because he's a black guy. Because I remember in 2010 it was announced he was going to play Heimdall,
yeah.
and people freaked. People were so terribly pissed. A good friend of mine, he still hates that casting.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't care. He's a guy with the sword who sees the universe. Does he have to have a specific skin color?
Right.
No. Yeah. Well, I'll wait for the spoiler section, but I do know why people are a bit more upset about a black guy being cast as the gunslinger, because apparently it's supposed to be. I'll save it.
Yeah, I was going to say spoiler.
I'll save it. Oh my gosh.
Mike, what any thoughts on this?
No, honestly, I think we've said all we can for the non-spoiler section.
Yeah.
Like it feels short, but like there's just not a whole lot to talk about.
The only thing the only thing that I really genuinely enjoyed throughout the whole movie was Idris. I enjoyed every moment he was on. I loved all of his like quiet moments of just like him looking down the barrel of a gun kind of thing. That was beautiful. Everything that he did. And everything that I've ever seen him in, he's brilliant. So like,
he did a couple of cool things though in the movie, like when he
all the bullet stuff.
Whenever he has to reload, he
man.
does cool things like he just like throws the bullets in there and they just land in a second.
So,
it's really cool.
Yeah, all that stuff was so cool, and that is really the only awesome part of this movie.
And you know what? I do joke a lot about McConaughey because I hated him for so long.
You're one of those guys.
Until I saw Magic Mike. And I'm like, wait, what? This is him putting effort into a role? And then he did Dallas Buyers Club. I loved him in that.
What did you see before that, though?
I saw a lot of stuff he did, like, most of the bad stuff, Fool's Gold and Lone Star.
Okay.
I did actually like him in Dazed and Confused. He was a little perfect for that role. He was supposed to be creepy, and he did that well. True Detective is his best performance ever. He was amazing in
I mean, Dallas Buyers
season 1
Club,
of True
he was
Detective.
pretty.
And I loved
incredible.
Dallas Buyers Club, and I thought he was pretty good in Inception. That scene where he's crying over the videos of his kids, he nails that. So
Inception? Are you talking about
Interstellar?
Interstellar?
I'm sorry. Interstellar.
I'm like, he was in Inception?
Wow. Listeners, Inception is my second favorite movie of all time, so you can hold that against me if you want.
You just wish he was in it. It's so good.
As much as I make fun of him, I did think he did well. I'm not gonna lie. He played a pretty good villain. He was smooth and he was sinister. He did his job.
I agree. I think that he did exactly what they wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And that's all he did.
I was much more into
And-
like his character than I was Roland or the gunslinger.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
We kind of see him almost as much or more than Idris Elba.
About the same.
Yeah, it's like equal parts. It switches off from him to the kid and Roland.
Yeah. She didn't do much in this movie, but I'm never upset to see Catherine Winnick. I love her on Vikings. She's amazing. I was talking with a couple of friends a while ago, and before Brie Larson was cast in Captain Marvel, they said that they would have loved to see her play Captain Marvel, and I would have I would have loved to see that. I'm very, very happy for Brie. Don't get me wrong. I think she's perfect. But yeah, Catherine Winnick, she's a very good, very capable actress. She didn't do much, but I wasn't upset to see her.
Sure.
Fran Kranz, I'm not upset to see him ever. He's done a lot of stuff with Joss Whedon.
I think that they had such a good thing, and then they just didn't do it well. It's one of those movies, and like it's very similar to Valerian, in which, like the comic books, they had this awesome thing that like they were really like, she's a French, or what was it?
She's from medieval France, I think.
Yeah, and like there was like this whole backstory thing that was so cool, and we're like, why the hell didn't they do that?
Totally missed
And I think it's with same kind of thing with Dark Tower. They had this beautiful series of things to pick, and they just didn't pick the right thing.
Exactly. Did you guys ever see The Mortal Instruments City of Bones?
I think
That would have been a Uranus Awards contender. I think it's a fantasy movie. That's 5 books of a series, and
shot in one movie, or like is it a...
No, they did the first movie was just the first book, and they had started to do pre-production for the second one, but the movie bombed so hard that they scrapped it completely, and now it's a TV show called Shadowhunters where they're doing everything right. I feel like this might go that route. It might be so poorly received and make so little money that they might just scrap the idea of doing a full series of movies and put it on the shelf for a while, maybe bring it back as a TV show later where it's more faithful. You know, maybe...
And that could actually be done right.
Yeah, it could be done right, because, you know, there are these streaming services, there's Hulu and Netflix, that are very willing to take these cool projects, put them in the hands of people who know how to create them, give them money, put themselves in debt, just so that these projects can come out right.
And they do.
Yeah, and they do.
9 times out of 10.
They saved Arrested Development from friggin' limbo. They saved this adorable little French movie called The Little Prince from limbo. They are very good about saving things from
Isn't
limbo.
the Mindy Project, wasn't that supposed to be like off, and then Hulu decided to take it back or something?
Maybe I
could be drunk. I'm not sure.
I think the show's really funny. I just haven't seen enough of it, which I feel bad about because they follow me on Twitter.
Do they really?
They do. Thank you, The Mindy Project. I will watch more of your show. I love Mindy Kaling.
Yeah, she's a genius.
She's hilarious.
Shall we move on to the spoilers?
Yes.
Spoiler section.
Yes.
Beep, beep, beep,
I don't know why I
beep,
clapped. I think it's because that's how we...
No, you're really just excited to talk about
I'm excited about spoilers. Oh, and in the description, by the way, you will find a time code for when you want to skip to the end of the podcast if you want to hear important information and stuff like that. And it's going to help a lot when we're doing multiple movies. Spoilers. Let's talk about Idris Elba being cast as the gunslinger. People got pissed again because he's black.
It's the same thing with... keep talking and I'll think of his damn name.
I got this spoiled for me in the books. This is a book spoiler too, so if you don't want to hear that, I am cautioning you now. There's a future character who comes in. She's a main character who has a split personality. Her name is Dessa, and her other personality is Odessa, who is a racist, who cannot stand black people. So that's pretty much why the fans were upset, like the purist fans were upset, is because that would be a weird thing to have happen in the movies, like, because she would have to be racist to this main character.
Oh, thank God she isn't in it.
Yeah. So, like...
The one-liner.
I mean, I think there's a way to figure out how to make Dessa a great character and make her hate, like, something else, but then that might piss off the purists, and it's the question of do the films have to cater perfectly to the purists of these series?
No.
I mean,
go ahead.
Well, like you were getting into, it could get picked up by like a streaming service, become a TV show.
They cast all new people.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even have to talk about the movie at all. This could be just like a starting point where people like start consuming Dark Tower content like crazy. I mean, there's the book series already, but now they're expanding into movies. There will probably be like comics or more comics if there aren't already.
I don't know if there's comics. If they're not, there should be.
Yeah.
I think this would be great as a comic series. In fact, the character of Jake did a lot of drawings in the movie, from his dreams. And I think if there were comics and they looked like those drawings,
Yeah.
with that style, that really
little
cool
crayon slash
kind
like
of Don
Sharpie.
Quixote type style, that would be really cool as a comic series. If there's a comic series, let us know. I'd be totally down to read that.
Oh yeah.
But now we're getting into something that's like as big as Lord of the Rings, or
yeah.
has the potential to be.
This is for sure Stephen King's Lord of the Rings type thing. It's a very long series. Another thing I got spoiled for me about the books is that the Man in Black does not die this early. He dies in this movie. And
Which is a cool scene, by the way.
Not
Cool death.
Not a bad scene. Very clever way to kill him, because it's established early on that he is a very powerful magical being that can catch bullets. So the gunslinger has to figure out a really intricate way in order to kill him. So he shoots a bullet at him, and then lightning fast shoots his own bullet with a second bullet to distract him while he's trying to grab it, and then shoots him in the heart with a third bullet, which was incredibly clever. But I don't think he should have died.
Well, I don't think that he did.
Yeah, and if he did die, he seems like the kind of person who would come back, like from hell.
Sure, but
It didn't seem like a finale to me, nor did this movie.
I don't know.
No,
He
not
got
at
hit
all.
right in the freaking skull with a bullet.
But it was very like, I know it's weird, but it was like a perfect circle. It wasn't like messy, which might have been like because it was
That's
rated
just 'cause it was
PG-13.
PG-13.
I don't know. It just seemed like
Let's not
very
kill
like
Bill here.
pretty. I feel like it could just be like very like Wolverine, where it just like pops right back out.
And yeah, in the end credits, there's a sound of a whistling, which Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey does in the movie. So that's sort of a little teaser. Maybe he's not dead.
Actually, I think somebody says, go to hell, and he's like, been there.
Yeah, he does say been there. So okay, maybe yeah, but that's another thing. He was not given enough. I don't think he's clearly a powerful sorcerer. I want to know where his power comes from. If he's like Jake, where he has shine, like he's a psychic. If he's just a psychic, I kind of wanted to see like the extent of his powers, because he can make people do things. You know, he can say stop breathing, and somebody will stop breathing. He can He can move things telepathically. He can conjure
off?
He can conjure fire. And
How did he get these things?
he can also do a little bit of sight, like seeing, like
Sightseeing.
telepathy.
Yeah.
He had like an
Sightseeing.
orb where he like projected
Yeah,
himself.
he has magic objects.
Yeah.
I want to know where this guy came from, why he's so hell-bent on making these demons appear. Is he trying to control the demons?
And I think that like what we were saying earlier, they wanted to do an origin story, which is great. They didn't tell the correct one. They didn't give us enough, like for the people who haven't read the books or something. It's just like, are we just supposed to like get this world? Like, how did this happen? Where, what?
Yeah, like remember Pokemon, the first movie? That
Oh
was
God, it's the greatest movie of all time.
but that was clearly made for
Us.
an audience that was very aware of Pokemon.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go into that movie having no knowledge of Pokemon and expect to enjoy it. It's a terrible movie, and you shouldn't enjoy it anyway.
I beg to differ. It is one of my favorite movies ever.
I'm sorry, but if you spend a whole movie learning a really important lesson and then your memory's erased and you don't remember that lesson, then what the frick was the point?
It's a lesson to not forget.
Did you not get your Ancient Mew card when you went?
I did. I was
then
a child.
therefore it's the greatest movie of all time.
I'm fine with stuff. But if you want a better version of that same movie, watch the Japanese dub. The script is way better. It's still got that stupid plot point where they forget everything they learned, but it's a much better movie.
It's still really good. John, sorry, I'm going back to the like color controversy thing. It's like John Boyega. He got
Right.
so much heat.
Didn't a fan quote unquote kill himself because he was so pissed about John Boyega
When the
in Star
casting
Wars?
was first announced, yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, that
Okay.
could also be like a
If-
myth, but like
If
I
that's-
remember hearing
If
that.
that's real, that's one less very hateful person in the world. But at the same time, that family's heartbroken forever because he was racist. And
That sounds like some like a prank somebody would do on Facebook. Like, oh, my
mean,
friend John Smith just killed himself.
It's really hard to believe a lot of the extreme things that happen because we're so used to extreme things happening just every day now, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, Unless it's caught on camera, it's almost no way to prove it.
At the end of the day, though, people are just going to feel this way because that's how they feel.
Yeah.
I'm looking at an interview right now on comicbook.com, and he says, John Boyega, I was the only person to always talk about the color of my skin, he said. In every interview, my skin color comes up. If Daisy Ridley does an interview, her skin color is going to come up. It doesn't matter what position you're in. Once you're black, and these idiots always have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's sad. It's a sad thing.
Yeah. It's Hermione in the play.
Oh, right.
In the play, Chris Child.
She's black.
She's
right?
black.
Yeah.
And people were like, "What?" In the books, she is never described as like a white person. It's like she has dark, curly, brown or brunette hair or whatever, and whatever.
I think
has
like
nothing to do with it.
Harry and Ron have specific traits of their physical appearance that are described, right? His red hair, Harry's pale skin.
Right.
Hermione doesn't get that specific descriptor.
And then people freaked out when it was announced that it wasn't a white person.
Yeah. I think Jennifer Lawrence got a little bit of heat when she was made Katniss, because Katniss is described as like olive-skinned.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's getting off topic, but
things are better than they used to be. Like, it's not like Marlon Brando playing a Mexican anymore. So
why not though?
He actually did an amazing job at that, but that would be a terrible move today. Yeah, to cast a white person as a Mexican.
That'd be terrible.
Actually, as long as we're talking about it, would you cast somebody else for Roland?
As the gunslinger? Oh, there are plenty of guys who could do it well. I just love Idris so much.
Yeah.
I love when he gets work. He can carry a full movie. He can carry a comedy. He can carry a biopic. He can carry a fantasy action flick. He's awesome.
His voice is beautiful. He can just can do it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are other dudes who could play this. This isn't like a Daniel Plainview situation where there's absolutely no one else who could do it better. But yeah, I love that Idris did this. I would be down to see him doing it again if there was more effort put into another film.
And I don't think that for me, like we talked about with Dane DeHaan, it's not one of those situations where okay, who should have been cast? Because I think that this is a correct casting.
Yeah.
I think that they nailed it with him and McConaughey, honestly.
Yeah.
The casting was totally fine for me. The whole all-around casting was great. Just...
Yeah, I didn't even mind the kid.
No! He was great. He was adorable. He was good.
I usually hate kids in movies.
Yeah, it wasn't obnoxious or anything.
Yeah, he did fine.
He just wanted to be believed by by his parents and his friends.
No, I really enjoyed him. Tom Taylor.
Yeah. Is he English or Irish?
Because
I heard bits and pieces of an accent in there.
I'm not sure. He's from England. Surrey, England.
Ha ha ha!
That always I didn't notice that, and I'm usually really picky about that when I hear accents go in and out of movies.
Dialects were my thing in college.
Sure.
So.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
What other parts were just...
Yeah, something that stood out to you guys?
Pretty much just the gun slinging.
Yeah.
The slinging of the gun was great.
Yeah, there's a scene where he pulls the trigger and hits a dude from 300 feet away through houses and bushes and clothes and stuff and hits him right in the head. He's feeling the earth and hearing as best he can and shooting with his heart, I guess.
My only problem with that is that that was my favorite part of the movie. I kid you not, that was my favorite part of the whole thing. I think that was awesome.
You were audible.
But I was so mad that it was in the trailer.
Yep.
Oh shit, it was.
And
Valerian had the same problem with that, where they're doing that hallway scene.
Yep.
Guys flying through all the walls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Best part of the movie, and they show it off.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah.
See, yeah. This is why I only see trailers in the movie theaters, because I usually forget a lot of stuff like that.
I mean, points where the gunslinger is doing really, really cool stuff like that, I can count on my hand. Granted, he shoots a lot of people. He does it in cool ways. But moments like that, there's very few of them. I think the other one would be him throwing the gas tank at the skin stealing people and shoots it. That was all right. Or when he kills Walter, the man in black.
Also, there were a couple of moments of levity in the film. You know, like in the hospital scene where he doesn't quite understand how the world works and he's responding to very simple questions. And like, what did you think about that? What did you think about the humor?
I like that. I think it had it broke up some of the slower parts where they're on the other world, and also it breaks up the action a little bit. Otherwise, you have just like non-stop like flurry of like cuts and people shooting each other, like fighting, stuff like that. You need to pace it out a bit, and that's why I appreciate moments like that.
It was very Thor-esque in the fact that like when Thor first comes to Earth, he's like has what is this drink? Another. It was very much, you know, it was very much that kind of comedy. Like, what is this world? I'm gonna play this way, and it worked really well. I think those were fun moments.
Yeah, it was okay.
He asks, like, are bullets as rare on Earth as they are here?
Right.
The fact that is funny makes me so sad.
That's one of those few moments in the movie.
Do we have anything else to say before moving on to the next section?
There's definitely there's this. Okay, going back to the lore a little bit and opening up to how much they had to work with. They have this enemy that's like the rat people or like whatever. They steal skin, they steal faces.
Right, the skin.
Why did we not like find out more about them? It just seemed like this generic like blank enemy that does an evil thing so that you don't like them. They're creepy. But that's it. Like, why are they doing that? Mm-hmm. Like, why do they have, like, this rave house where they're, like, all hanging out and drinking, and they got people in pens? Like, what's up with that?
Again, I think that's just the filmmakers expecting us either to know already or to be so interested in what's going on that we're going to just be patient and wait for another movie.
That was my thought.
So, yeah. So many things like that.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just one of the biggest problems I had with the movie.
Yeah.
That's... Oh, well. Anyway.
Well, where do we think this movie is going as far as... we've kind of talked about it a bit, but like is it going to be a franchise? Or are we going to see a sequel, reboot? Is it going to TV?
My two thoughts. I'm fairly certain it's going to be one of these two things. One, they drop it entirely, and we move on with our lives until somebody eventually tries again many, many years later.
Right.
Or they're going to disregard this movie and start it over as a TV series. Just like they did with the Mortal Instruments. I am fairly certain one of those two things will happen.
You can't see them doing
no
Dark Tower 2.
I don't see them doing a sequel to this movie. I really don't.
I can see a really cool movie poster.
I don't think it's going to make very much more money.
There'll be 2 towers.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking, like 2 skylines.
You know, purists hate it. Non-book readers don't really give a crap about it.
Yeah, I like... It's so sad because it's so cool. This world is so cool, but it just wasn't executed well.
There's seeds here for an incredible plant. They just planted them in the wrong soil.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to broaden the appeal so that everybody could get it. Yeah. And they just, like, pushed away the people that really enjoyed it.
Yeah, real shame.
Yeah.
But
I think it'd be tight as a television show. I think that could be really cool.
I would love to see that.
Definitely. Shadowhunters is a cool series. I've read those books, and I like this series quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like this Westworld vibe that it could like pull off.
God, I want Westworld season 2 right now.
You know, a high budget, high production version of this movie, or just a continuation.
I mean, they won't, but it's okay.
But hey, if this movie leads to that TV show, I think what it might do is get non-book readers interested in the books. Be like, wait, this is it? This is what everybody was so obsessed over? No, I got to read this book to see what's going on here.
Totally.
If that's the end result of this piece of crap movie, then thank you, piece of crap movie.
Yeah. Totally.
I guess we have our answer for would you recommend it?
No, I would not. I would recommend going for the book. I think I'm gonna pick up these books eventually.
Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah, I don't think I would, and that's really sad for me to say because I really love going to the movie theater. But like,
I gotta agree with you.
Although I would, it wasn't really that. I mean, go because I love supporting arts and movie and like these things, but like, It just wasn't a fun day or morning at the theater.
Oh yeah, don't go in the morning because you might get caught in a situation like Max and I, where there was a field trip.
Yeah.
And they were throwing food, and they were on their phones and talking.
Oh, man.
Which is always the best.
I think their teacher told them, like, stop throwing food.
Oh, literally, someone screamed that, and I was like,
mean
oh.
it.
And then they had like their flashlight out to come down and look at who was doing it.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It was
The
a
employees,
train wreck.
employees had flashlights on them.
It was terrible.
That's awful.
Would you recommend this?
No,
No.
not at all. It was forgettable. Nothing very special about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'm hoping something comes out of it. Whether that be a reboot, a sequel, because I would see a sequel if it's done right. I think a TV show would be sweet.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really, really cool.
Oh, do we want to really quickly cast that TV show?
Sure.
Yeah, who would you go for, Roland, Gunslinger?
That's a tough one. I am not that good with actors. Easy answer, Chris Pratt. Maybe, I don't know.
Someone who would commit to a full television series, though.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know what they're doing with season 8 of The Walking Dead. I'm actually quite behind, but depending on how they handle Negan on The Walking Dead, I would love to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the gunslinger.
The guy who's playing the Punisher. I can't think of his name off the top.
On TV, that would
Yeah.
be John Bernthal.
Yeah. Huh. I could see him doing either role.
Either that or the Man in Black.
Yeah. I would love to see him do either of those things because I think he can be good. I think he can be bad. He would be sweet. The going to Walking Dead, the little boy who plays Carl, he could be Jake.
He's too old now.
Or
He's a little.
is he? I haven't watched Walking Dead. I got
Chandler
bored.
Riggs. Yeah, he's a little too old.
Isn't he supposed to be like kind of grizzly, oldish?
What, Jake or Carl?
Oh no, I'm sorry for the gunslinger.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's over 50.
Wait,
Bernthal is younger than that.
wait, what's his name? There it is. William H. Macy from Shameless.
As the gunslinger?
Yeah.
Really?
No, you're
You see
crazy.
him as
but-
being like a badass buff action hero?
Not like
I
buff,
see him and I
but
laugh.
like, I mean, he's the gunslinger. Like, he shoots people. He doesn't like punch them.
I think he's wrong for that. But for the Man in Black, do either of you watch Supernatural by any chance?
No.
Okay, that's
Briefly.
That's my favorite show, and in one of the seasons, we're introduced to Death as a character in like a human body, and he's played by this really smooth, really awesome actor by the name of Julian Richings, and he would be an amazing Man in Black.
You know who else would? Christopher Meloni.
Oh, totally.
I think
Yeah.
he would be fun.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great.
Love that guy.
Yeah. I love him in Wet Hot American Summer right now. Oh my god.
Oh, the new season's out. That's
No,
right.
Is it out now?
Yeah.
I thought it's...
Yeah, 10 years later, it's out now on Netflix.
No, the first season came out a while ago.
That was first day of camp. The second season is 10 years later, and that's out now on Netflix.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Ooh.
He'd be great.
Yeah.
He'd be great.
Should we move on to awards?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to start us off?
I had best memorable moment, which was the gunshot that I was talking about, where he shoots the guy in the head from super far away. But I took that back because I forgot that happened. Because I like I said, I saw it twice, and I didn't remember that was in the movie until the second time I saw it. So obviously, it can't be the most memorable moment because I forgot.
Sure.
So I'm just gonna give it one award here: best fight sequence, which is the minute and a half fight sequence with the Man in Black. It was short, but it was really cool, and
Yeah.
you know, McConaughey moved really well. Idris moved really well. It was tight. It was cool. There weren't a million edits.
Yeah, there weren't 900 switches.
Yeah. And Jake, it was established in the movie that he's a psychic. He has incredible shine, and he's the reason McConaughey wants to kidnap all these children, because it is said that the Dark Tower can be destroyed with the mind of a child, and Jake has like the best psychic abilities that any child has, so he kidnaps him and puts him in a machine to destroy the tower. That's why the Man in Black wants Jake. And Jake uses his psychic abilities to sort of like pump up Idris with the Gunslinger's Oath.
Which was cool.
That was a cool moment. So yeah, best fight sequence. And that is it for me.
All right.
Sorry to say.
No, it's okay. You're
I go.
Yeah, you want to
you're
go?
looking at me. All right. So, actor in a leading role.
For Idris.
I actually would say Matthew Macho Man McConaughey.
Good for you.
Like, I really felt more for his character than I did with the Gunslinger.
Love it.
Like, we get to see more of his power. We get to, like, get a little more interaction with him than, like... I mean, we see Jake, the kid, for, like, a good 1/3 of the movie, and then we get to the Gunslinger. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Man in Black, he's, like, kind of always there as, like, a presence.
Totally.
And I just kind of got into it. Idris did a great job, though.
Yeah.
Got believable CGI. That was mainly for
Yeah.
the tower itself, though. I really like those shots where it's up in the clouds.
Sure, the tower's cool, but we got like War of the Planet of the Apes and Guardians and Spider-Man.
These are his
Absolutely.
awards, not yours.
Hey, it's a debate.
No, I know.
It's a debating podcast. I'm just trying to figure out like where he's coming from here.
I mean, I like shots like that, which kind of is what disappointed me about the movie was we didn't get to see enough of the tower. It really intrigued me.
Sure.
And know enough, like where it came from, who built it.
Yeah, or like go visit it, see what's inside. You know, it's a tower. It's a building.
Yeah, like we don't even know if it's like
Is there someone
anything
in there?
Right.
Yeah.
Or if it's
What
just like a magic giant rock.
What if there's people in there?
The workers probably got hurt then. Poor workers.
Oh, that's so upset.
We're on the same page, though. I gave it Epic Standoff, though, or the High Noon Award.
Oh, yeah.
Between Idris and Matthew McConaughey at the end. Also, slow-mo moment there, too, because I just really liked when he shot the bullet onto another bullet and, like, distracted him, and
That was cool.
Okay.
that was pretty sweet.
No, I'm gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I'm gonna give it that too. Best slow mo moment. So there's 2 for me.
but, like, particularly Epic Standoff because it's the 2 of them. It's no, like, big battle or anything. It's one character versus another. Mm-hmm. And then, just besides that, the movie poster, I thought it was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It stood out to me, like,
that was kind of cool.
definitely brought me memories of Inception,
Sure.
with, like, the city upside down and stuff.
Yeah. Going off movie poster, I too have that for a nomination. Speaking of best movie poster, we have a bunch, and if you want one, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You might get one. Moving on. Best fight sequence: Idris versus everyone. Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
All the skin-stealing people.
yeah, just, I think that was really sweet. Every time he, like, reloaded, I was like, this is sweet. This is awesome. Too bad the movie wasn't. Best trailer, because the trailer made it look awesome. And it also had me nominate it for most memorable moment, the Fields Award. But again, it was given away in the trailer, which was the long distance shot through, like, the sheet and a headshot. But it was given away in the trailer.
Yep.
But it was still really, 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 really cool, and I was looking forward to that specific shot the whole movie. And it did pay off. It, like, even though it kind of ruined it because I had already seen it, it was still really cool, and, like, people were in the audience and clapping and all that nonsense. So I thought that was really cool. I have to be honest, I don't even remember that slow motion moment you guys are talking about.
It's just like a quick shot where, like, he shoots the bullet and then he shoots the other, and you see them kind of, like, collide.
I, like, barely remember it, man.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
not a lot to remember from the whole movie.
yeah. Well, would you nominate this for the best picture?
No. No.
No.
No way.
No, Mr. Best Picture, no here.
Well, I guess that concludes this episode. You can find us at our website, www.uranus-awards.com. You can get more information on the awards. And remember, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're always doing giveaways and polls and stuff at Uranus Awards. And if you like giving us money, that would be great.
Where
you
they-
should, what?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, where can they find us?
Let me tell you, Mike. We have an Indiegogo page as well as a Patreon page, and all of that information is on our website. We also just launched a YouTube series that I'm doing called Cracking It with Max, and it's going to be ridiculous and fun, and it's going to be a great time. But if you support us, we'll advertise for you like we did with Mama J's Cookies. And again, all that is on our website. And don't forget, we have our live stream of the Uranus Awards January 14th, 2018.
Hey guys, what are we doing next week?
Oh man, what is next week? Let's see. Next week
Let's get you pumped up for the podcast.
Oh god. It's Annabelle.
Annabelle creation.
Guys, I'm gonna have to see this with the lights on somehow.
I'll hold your hand.
Yeah, we should go with Max. Make sure that he doesn't die.
No, like I'm having a full on. Just for you listeners, I'm so scared of scary movies. I'm still prepping myself for It. I'm like,
yeah.
I've already talked to someone who is like an It fanatic, and they're gonna see it with me after they have already seen it and tell me when all the pop outs happen, because I do not do scary movies.
I am
but
a
I have
horror
to.
fanatic. I am so excited for this. I love Annabelle.
I am so not excited.
All right. Well, next week is Annabelle creation, folks. Get yourself ready. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. So tune in next week, and this has been Going In Deep, Going Dark.